Do you know someone who treats their birthday like it's just another ordinary day? No countdown, no big plans. Sometimes they don't even mention it at all. While others plan celebrations weeks in advance, they seem almost puzzled by the attention. And this isn't about being boring or unhappy. Psychologically, it often reveals something very specific about how that person thinks. Let's unpack what's really going on. For most people, birthdays are more than dates. They're social markers. They're moments when attention turns outward, when recognition becomes visible, messages arrive. People remember. Time pauses just briefly to say, you matter. But people who treat birthdays like normal days tend to process identity differently. Their sense of self isn't built around public acknowledgement. They don't rely on ceremonies or rituals to confirm their value. Their identity feels stable without external reinforcement. In psychological terms, their self-worth is internally anchored. They already know who they are, so the reminder feels unnecessary. This often comes across as quiet confidence. Not loud, not performative, just steady. Another important layer is how they experience time. Many people use birthdays as checkpoints, a moment to reflect, a moment to measure progress, a moment to feel older, wiser, or behind. But for some individuals, time doesn't feel segmented like that. It feels continuous. There isn't a sharp emotional difference between one day and the next. Growth doesn't arrive once a year. It unfolds slowly, in small increments. The day they were born doesn't feel more meaningful than a random Tuesday. Psychologists describe this as low sensitivity to temporal landmarks, not avoidance, not denial, just a different way of relating to time. For these people, development happens gradually, not in symbolic yearly chapters. There's also a social energy component that's often misunderstood. Birthday celebrations come with expectations. You're expected to show enthusiasm, to respond to messages, to perform gratitude, to engage socially even when you're tired. For some people, this feels emotionally expensive, not because they dislike others, but because they're selective about where their energy goes. They prefer fewer interactions that feel genuine over larger gatherings that feel obligatory. Skipping birthday rituals becomes a form of boundary setting, a quiet way of saying, I value connection, but I don't need this format. Interestingly, people who downplay birthdays often score higher on authenticity-related measures. They're less interested in social performance and more focused on internal alignment. They don't reject celebration itself. They simply don't need it to feel real. And this is important. Treating a birthday like a normal day is not a sign of emotional distance. It's not sadness. It's not avoidance. It's a reflection of how meaning is sourced. Some people anchor meaning externally, through shared moments and rituals. Others anchor meaning internally, through consistency and self-definition. Neither is better. They're just different. So if birthdays feel unimportant to you, nothing is missing. It may simply mean you're wired to find significance in quieter ways. And that mindset, while rare, is completely valid. If you enjoy understanding everyday behaviors through psychology and clear thinking,